And calls for stimulus are growing as Indian exporters claim that they cannot survive the hit from President Donald Trump's 50% tariff without government assistance. Now, industry groups are pushing for stimulus that includes cheaper loans, wage subsidies and tax breaks to soften the blow. A 25% tariff was already imposed on Indian exports to the US as part of Trump's reciprocal tariffs. And to punish India for its purchase of Russian crude, the US has imposed additional 25% secondary tariffs on Indian goods, which kicked in on Wednesday. While Trump's move to penalize India will increase economic risks for the South Asian nation. Industry groups warn that production will stall, workers in labor-intensive factories could be laid off. They also said that India risks ceding its hard-won market share to regional rivals. S.C. Ralhan, president of the Federation of Indian Exports Organization, said that those with 100% exports to the US market have laid off labor in a big way. The government needs to come out to our rescue immediately. Now, the US is India's biggest export destination. According to a New Delhi think tank, Global Trade Research Initiative, the 50% tariffs could cut Indian exports to the US by nearly $37 billion. Now, this is about a 40% cut to the $87.4 billion worth of exports to the US last year. Well, as of last year, India's share of a total of US goods imports was 44.5%. The top items US imports from India include gems and jewelry, textiles, capital goods, chemicals, autos and food and beverages. While the bulk of those goods form a large percentage of total Indian exports to the US, with gems and jewelry and textiles taking the top spots. The goods exempted from tariffs include pharmaceutical preparations and smartphones. Well, these make up for over 30% of Indian exports to the United States. Now, ironically, oil and gas exports are exempted from Trump's tariff, with the US trade delegation cancelling this week's visit to India. There is no immediate solution or a trade deal in sight. However, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent described the US-India relationship as very complicated, and he hoped that at the end of the day, we will come together. Now, former Indian diplomat Jitendra Nath Mishra said that India must take US tariffs on the chin and ride out the storm. Mishra said that despite the high tariffs, US-India trade deal is still possible.
Is concerned, let's not forget history. The 1974 sanctions were crippling for India after the first set of nuclear tests. And the 1998 sanctions were not crippling because India was economically much more resilient, but they were in any case very damaging. So right now, India is even more resilient. India is going to become the fourth largest and soon the third largest economy. Let's not lose our self-confidence. Let's remain calm. Let's not go by disinformation. The US is still our most important partner, and we'll have to take it on our chin and ride out the storm in some way or the other.